How's it going, guys? Welcome back to Ancientbloodlineoflight. This is Giovanni. Now, this topic I want to talk about is about DaveChappelle. I want to talk about him versus cancel culture and what's going on with Netflix. Now, these are the things that I'm picking up from Spirit that I'm also going to add in. So I will obviously mention like what's obviously going on now. Of course, like watch his stand-up. And he's speaking about a lot of things that, he shouldn't even have to apologize for because, he was always controversial. A lot of comedians are always controversial. And then you have these people who, like, I'm not trying to, like, bash on transsexuals or anyone that you consider, like, in the woke shit or any of that stuff, or LGBTQ or whatever. So they're just trying. They're trying him. And at least people from Netflix are backing him up. There's one person who was trans who was fired, from what I heard, is backing him up, and that's great. Apparently, Hollywood is also backing him up now, and so DaveChappelle is basically he's pushing against their wall. It's like what I see in my mind's eye is like it's him, his higher self, and his servitors, and everyone that backs him up, and in the spirit world, pushing against them. It's like the Spartans versus like the other army, like the shields in there, they're pushing the others, and it's like those who are against him, who are trying to cancel him, are like at the edge of the cliff, like that scene in the 300 when they're pushing all the guys out the cliff and you see all of them falling off. They're at the cliff right now. We got them at the edge, and these people are really trying hard, and they're not gonna win. They're losing, and they want to try so hard to destroy him. And I'm so happy to, and I'm actually surprised that people are backing up even in Netflix. It's like DaveChappelle's divine energy is feeding the egregore of Netflix, the entity. When people talk about corporations, they call them entities or organizations. So, subliminally, they're actually talking about the entities behind them, the egregores, the servitors, what you would call them. And the egregore of Netflix is getting that energy that DaveChappelle is bringing, and that's why Netflix are like getting such a huge recognition. And then one of the creators of South Park even mentioned in a recent article that Hollywood is, or in my own words, is really digging it, that DaveChappelle, what he's doing in Netflix. And so the egregore of Hollywood is now like getting that energy as well, since like they're like involved in some way, and that energy is rippling out there in the astral plane. This might be a short video or a long one, who knows, but it depends, like the information that comes to me and stuff that I have researched. So DaveChappelle is not gonna back down. So I call upon Archangel Michael, I call upon King Belial, King Pyman, and Astaroth to protect him in this material realm and the spirit realm. Because all these people negativity, it can't be transmuted and it can be thrown back at them. And they're really trying so hard. The entities behind what these people work for are like the Jezebel spirit and whatever else that they're trying to corrupt this world with. It's gonna lose. They're gonna lose their energy and they're gonna fall. They're gonna crash. And we're supporting him. And it's like, this is what I feel, is that when DaveChappelle went to Africa, he had gotten some kind of spiritual awakening, and then he, it was like he was initiated to fully embody his higher self, and then what he does, and then bring the energy, and that's what it comes to. Like, people are like, oh man, he changed, he's different, or he's a clone, he doesn't look like he looked before. Well, people age. People age. And for one, people work out. So obviously he's like more diesel than he was back then, because obviously he was skinny dude. And secondly, you also sense his new spiritual energy. His aura has changed. So people just can't comprehend that because they're sheep-minded. So sorry, but even people who follow QAnon can be fucking sheeps as well, and don't use their common sense. I mean, yeah, I don't get me wrong, I do believe in cloning, but Dave is not a fucking clone. He's him. People age, people change. Not everyone's a goddamn clone. So it's literally like they're pushing, he's pushing. I'm really seeing that in the astral. You know, it's a battle. You know, it's a spiritual war that we go through anyways in life. So there's a war in the astral plane anyways that a lot of us fight through, and Archangel Michael's like, you know, have us help them whatever we're needed in the astral to bring our energy there. And so with so much divine energy, where you raise your vibrations and you're backing DaveChappelle up, he's winning more and more and more. And Netflix, the aggregator of Netflix, is also backing him up more and more. More people are back up. So all these people are doing all that protest on us, so that shit is just obviously low vibrational and it's toxic. So us with our high vibrations, it's just making things a lot more better for him and keep things strong. So all these people who want to try this cancel culture shit, it's gonna break. This could possibly lead to where DaveChappelle will be the one to destroy cancel culture. And you know, more and more people need to speak out against cancel culture more, not wait until some shit happens when someone gets canceled over the littlest bullshit that they shouldn't be canceled over. Like, it's always good to make things aware so that energy that we get can be put out there in the universe so we create a better change. So sometimes, you know, New Agers would be like, oh, like, you're focused so much on the negative things. No, actually, we're just making things aware so we can create a better change. Don't you see? So I can understand where you don't focus too much on problems so you won't be in that frequency. But there's have to be a balance. So there's also where you have to address things so there can be a better change. So people are like, oh, so that's what's going on? All right, then let's work on that. Let's do something better. Let's make a better change. Let's transmute it. So don't let some hippies tell you what you should or shouldn't do. Anyways, that energy, positive energy, transmuting, surrounding DaveChappelle, so he can succeed what he's doing, and for more and others to stand behind him, and more celebrities to back him up on this. Obviously, there's like so many just don't want to speak about things because, you know, it's Hollywood. You know, they don't want to get in trouble, you know, within these industries and shit. Sometimes they have to comply to some shit, but doesn't mean that they actually are 100% supporting it. They just have to because of contracts and shit. So they may seem like they oppose a certain thing on Twitter or whatnot, but deep down they really don't. They just can't speak up against it because contracts and entities that's watching them, monitoring them in an astral plane, besides them being monitored in the physical realm. So a lot of great changes are going to happen within industry. So you may not see it now, but in the spirit realm, the astral, changes are happening. And the more things are being exposed, the better. See? So let's keep it up with the high vibrations, send that good energy out there, transmuting, and stay within your higher self and, you know, your heart space, and creating a better change in this world. Namaste.